Gazdag with a fine touch into space. Carranza shakes off one defender, flipped around, and a foul is called. Now all the frustration is coming out.
Welcome to Instant Replay for MLS Matchday 25. I'm Andrew Wiebe. As always, we're taking a closer look at the most controversial calls in Major League Soccer. We start in Nashville with a quartet of plays. First off, in the 38th minute, Daniel Lovitz defending in the penalty area, and that's going to be an easy header for Daniel Gazdag. Only, Daniel Lovitz is not going to let him have it. Push in the back. That's a penalty, says Sergei Boyko, and I completely agree. You cannot push folks in the penalty area when defending, and the yellow card rightfully comes out. That will matter a little bit more later, so let's fast forward. 73rd minute. Jack McGlynn of the Union defending in his own penalty area, and he thinks Dax McCarty is going to get ahead on this cross, only Dax doesn't, and the ball slams directly into McGlynn's arm. Boyko calls the penalty. It looks like a handball. Ball hits arm, right? Well, VAR Daniel Radford calls Boyko to the monitor. Radford sees a clear and obvious error. What would that error be? The error would be is that, one, not only is this not a deliberate handball by Jack McGlynn, you can see he's not extending toward the ball, not trying to hit the ball with his arm. His arm is also in a natural position, to his side, hanging down, not outstretched. Since that is the case, despite the ball hitting the arm, this is not a handball under the laws, and there would be no penalty. Boyko sees the same thing that Radford and I see on this play, and he calls the penalty off. Well done to the crew on this one. All right, let's go to the 81st minute. Remember, I told you to take note of that Daniel Lovitz yellow card. Mikel Ua driving into the penalty area, and the Union man dishes and then gets absolutely cleared out by Lovitz. You cannot watch this and tell me that it's not a foul. There's contact, he goes through the player, clear foul. Given it's a reckless challenge, it's a yellow card as well. So you have a penalty and a yellow card. 2 yellow cards added together equals red. Daniel Lovitz is off, and Union are going back to the penalty spot. And Philly would get the win, but not before a little fireworks from both teams. 93rd minute, tensions running high, and things boil over for Nashville's Shaq Moore and Philadelphia's Julian Carranza. These are red cards for violent conduct. Pretty straightforward here, I'll just quote the law. Violent conduct is when a player uses or attempts to use excessive force or brutality against an opponent when not challenging for the ball. That, to me, is clearly excessive force on both. They're going for the body slams, they're pushing, they're shoving, there might be even a little bit of a strike in there. Easy call for Boyko. 2 red cards, adios. All right, to Red Bull Arena we go. 26th minute, Nick Hagglund coming in to defend against Kyle Duncan, and oh boy, you can see the ball hit Hagglund's arm, but is it a handball by the law? Was this deliberate? I would say no. Hagglund is reaching out to put pressure on Kyle Duncan. He does not know this ball is coming. He's not trying to block it. Now the flip side is that arm in a natural position? Lucas Spala, the referee, says no on the field. Penalty. Of course, Jose Carlos Rivero, the VAR, takes a closer look. He does not recommend review. And while I think this action is pretty natural by a defender in this situation, reaching out, trying to get a hand on the back of the attacking player, I understand why Rivero did not send it to review. It is not clear and obvious to me that this is a natural position. After all, Hagglund's arm is outstretched. So based on the laws and based on VAR protocol, I think everyone got this one right in the end, even if Cincy and Hagglund probably feel a little hard done by. Now Kyle Duncan might feel a tad hard done by in the 77th minute. This time, the roles are reversed. He's defending in his own penalty area against Santi Arias. Arias beats him to the ball, gets a touch, and Duncan cuts just in front of him, and Arias goes down. No foul, says Lucas Spala, but Jose Carlos Rivero, of course, is watching, and he flags this one as a clear and obvious error. Spala goes to the board, and he reverses the call, and I think for good reason. When I'm watching this clip, I'm looking for 2 things. 1, did Arias win the ball or did Duncan get a touch? Arias clearly wins the ball, and Duncan gets none of it. 2, did Duncan foul, and was there clear and obvious contact on Arias to bring him down? Watch as he cuts in front, right there on the calf region. You can see clear contact, and once you see that, that's enough for me for a clear and obvious error. Same for Spala. This was a penalty for Cincy that Lucho Acosta finished. Let's keep it going rapid fire. Chicago, Montreal, Rafa Schijos defending in his own area. Malik Badawi calls the penalty, and you can see why on replay. Rafa Schijos gets his elbow out and tries to chicken wing this ball out of the air and ends up blocking the shot of the Montreal player. That is a handball and a penalty. And this, quite clearly, is a foul on Yaimar in the San Jose-Seattle game. Jeremy Ebobisse cuts him a little bit. He's about to push back to have a potential shot or create a goal-scoring opportunity for a teammate, and Yaimar just comes through and gets his legs. Foul for me and foul for Fotis Bozakos. Well done to the crew on that one. It's a little more complicated on this call, though. 83rd minute. Is this a handball on San Jose? Did the ball hit arm? My gut says yes, but on the field, it's not a penalty. Jorge Gonzalez, the VAR, spots a clear and obvious error with no penalty call and sends Bozakos to the monitor. Gonzalez is saying, hey, look, this hit the arm and it's not in a natural position. That should be a handball. Bozakos disagrees and sticks with his call on the field. No clear and obvious evidence in his mind. My personal opinion, this ball hit the arm of the San Jose player. And that arm was not in a natural position when it was outstretched all the way out. The question is about the proof. Is there clear and obvious evidence? I think this angle from behind the opposite goal strongly, like 95% suggests that this hit arm. You can see the slight change in direction as it goes up the arm region there. What I struggle with is that it's not 100%. It's not what I would call a smoking gun. So I understand why Bozakos said no penalty on this one and stuck with his call on the field, but I definitely think that that ball hit the arm. I just can't prove it. Two more. Sporting Kansas City RSL. SKC supporters and Peter Vermees pretty fired up about this play that led to the game-tying goal for El Salt Lake. Was Danny Rosero fouled by Anderson Julio? I see the contact from behind, but I also see that Julio wins the ball, and defending is still a contact sport. Just because you got hit and go down does not mean you were fouled. That goes for both sides of the field. In this case, I think I'm okay with no call, good goal. Be stronger, Danny Rosero, or get rid of the ball. All right, to LA we go. 77th minute, Denny Bwanga wants a dog-so call on this tackle. It is clearly a foul on Bwanga. The question is, does it meet the threshold for a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? As always, the following have to be considered. The distance between the offense and the goal. It's close to goal. The general direction of the play. It's going toward goal. The location and number of defenders. No defenders here. And the likelihood of keeping or gaining control of the ball. And that's the crucial one. Bwanga's touch is long. The goalkeeper is getting there. And Bwanga is not going to have an opportunity in this case, in my opinion, to shoot. Joe Dickerson, the referee, shared that opinion, as did Eunice Marcacci, the VAR, and there was no red card issued, which I think is the right decision. All right, that's it for Matchday 26. As always, if you see something, say something. Hit me up with all your nominations. Big thanks to my producer, Rich Hernandez, and our editor, Phil Levanco. We'll see you next time.